I was too late. Kemper Killer was taken. Helix Destroyer was taken. Headrush Murderer was taken. But let's take a look at the Mooer GE300. All right, all joking aside, the GE300 is a much hyped multi-effects pedalboard unit that was announced back in January, I think. And here it is, just making its appearance in June of 2019. You've doubtless heard that it's a big step up from the Mooer GE200. There's improved inputs and outputs. You've even got XLR outputs so you can run to front of house. There's MIDI. There's an expression pedal jack. There's USB. There's all kinds of good stuff. In addition, you've probably also heard that there are up to 8 assignable foot switches. So when you dial up a patch, you can turn effects on and off at will in the patch. Pretty cool. You've probably also heard that Mooer has re-engineered all the software in the unit. So all the effects, the amp simulations, the cabinets, they've added in a tone capture capability so you can, in essence, create your own impulse responses. That's pretty sweet. And finally, but probably not finally, there's a synth effect that you can add into the mix. Pretty cool, huh? So there's no doubt that this unit is feature-packed. Again, it's a huge step up from the GE200. But the big question for me is, can I get tones that I like, and can I get them quickly? So this video is going to be me breaking down a patch that I created for a recent ambient guitar performance piece that I posted here on the channel. Let me go ahead and make myself small, and let's get going. So this is a close-up of the critical components that you're going to use for creating a patch. Obviously, front and center is the screen where you can see what's going on. What I'll draw your attention to first is a signal chain. It's a signal chain of 14 blocks. Most of the blocks are predefined. For example, there's a distortion block, a compressor block, an EQ block, etc. There are 2 assignable blocks, effects A and effects B, where you can select from many different effects options. It's very easy to move blocks around. There's a big select knob here. All you have to do is turn the knob and point to the block that you want to move. Click the knob, and then that will kind of latch on to the effect to allow you to move it. Let me show you real quick. I'm going to move the wah pedal from its 3rd position to the 2nd. So I'll click it. That little arrow, I don't know if you can see it, turns red. Turn the knob to the left, and there's my wah pedal. So super easy just to move things around on the screen. All right, let's get to the nuts and bolts of my patch. First up is a compressor. So I'm going to hit the compressor button. And this is one thing I really love about this unit, is that each effect block has its own on-off button. So I've kind of activated the compressor there, and you'll see that a screen of options has appeared, including what kind of compressor I want. There are several compressors in this unit. I've gone with one called the Deluxe compressor. So that's great. You can just turn it on and off there. I'm going to go ahead and hit a display button to bring me back to the display. You can see that my compressor block has now lit up, and here's what it sounds like. Okay, pretty boring, but it's just a compressor. Next up, let's go ahead with the distortion. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that up. Actually, you know what? I'm going to wait on the distortion. Let's go to the amp and the cabinet, because the distortion is going to sound terrible without an amp and a cabinet. So I'm going to hit amp, and I've got tons of amp models. There's too many to even talk about. I've got one dialed up called US Sonic, all right? And then I'm also going to add a cabinet. And I like to combine, personally, this is me, I like to combine a Fender-style amp with a Marshall-style speaker cabinet. So this is a 1960 4x12. And here's what we get with these two effects blocks active. Yeah, that's nice. So really just nice and mellow. Okay, and as you would expect, there's all kinds of options for the amp and the cab. Let me go ahead and go back to the amp. And just to show you, if you want to move to different rows of options, you can just click that big select button and you'll kind of page up and page down through all of your options. All right, so I've got my compressor, my amp, my cabinet. Now I'm going to head on over to some distortion. And I've selected a distortion called the D drive. So there's OD250, there's Flex Boost, D drive. You'll have to try them all out to see which ones you like. But I've dialed it up. I've got, I don't know, 67% gain, lots of mids, trebles kind of rolled off, bass is rolled off a little bit, and here's what it sounds like. Nice. Now, I need to mention that when I play lead, I roll the tone down on my guitars. So I've got this kind of voiced to get a sound that I like when I do that. Okay, that's me. Your settings are going to be totally different, right? To make it sound like you want it to sound. All right, so we've got some distortion going. Next up, I need some delay. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the main delay option. You'll see that I'm going to add multiple delays, but this is the main delay block. I'm using a delay called the Galaxy Delay. And here's what it sounds like. It's basically a modulation delay, if you will. Yeah, pretty cool. Next up is reverb, and there is a dedicated reverb block for that. So I'll go ahead and tap that, and you can see that I've got a reverb called Distortion Reverb dialed up. As you would expect, there are many types. You've got your rooms, you've got your halls, you've got your plates. But the Distortion Reverb was kind of intriguing to me. And I'm going to go ahead and turn off the distortion so you can hear it a little bit better. Here's what that reverb sounds like. You hear that? Hear that little distortion thing going on? Yeah. So I wanted to keep the reverb kind of low because I'm going to end up with a lot of delays. So let me go ahead and bring the distortion back up. Yeah, that's cool. Now, I've got a little bit of reverb kind of to fill out the sound. I've got my main delay going, but I need some more delay. So let me go ahead and show you the signal chain again, what we have going on. Here's compressor, distortion, amp, cab, reverb, delay. By the way, it kind of makes a clockwise circle, okay? But what I did was I'm using effects B and effects A to dial up additional delays. So let me go ahead and pull in effects B, and let's see what we have. I've got this set to delay, and what you'll note here is there's all kinds of options. Delay, detune, lo-fi, you've got phasers, you've got flangers, you've got pitch shifters, all kinds of good stuff. So anyhow, I've got this set to second delay, and here's what that sounds like. All right, so we're getting a little more complicated now, aren't we? Yeah, I'm liking that. So let me go ahead and add in effects A, and let's see what we get there. Aha, here's another delay. Here's what that sounds like. Effects A delay, effects B delay, and the main delay block. That's a sound that really works well for me. Again, all kinds of sounds in this thing, right? But this is my sound, or one of my sounds, and I really like that. Next up, I need a volume pedal, and as you saw, this unit's got a built-in volume pedal. It's right here. You can kind of see it on the screen, and it's active right now, so let me go ahead. I'll use my hand, but you'll get the picture. All right, for the purposes of this demo, having that volume pedal isn't going to do, right? Because I can't play and use my hand. So I won't take the time to show you how to do this, but it's super easy. I've plugged in an external expression pedal into the unit, and I've mapped the function to the master gain of the amp. Here's what that sounds like. Super easy to do. So you've got some great choices here. And by the way, you can map your external expression pedal to just about everything in this unit. All right, that does it for the patch. One option that I did want to do, though, was be able to turn that distortion on and off with a foot switch. So here is the distortion on. And I've got it set so that when I hit that foot switch, I can turn it off, which is great. And the way you do that is simply hit the control button wherever there we go. And this allows you up to 8 different foot switch assignments, which is really nice. You just press the foot switch, as you can see there, to assign the function, and really great. So again, I'm not going to take the time to go all the way through it, but I just want you to know about it. Super easy to set up, so you can create your patch and have up to 8 different foot switches to turn things on and off. Finally, for the performance piece that I posted, I opted to make use of the GE300's built-in looper to create a drone. So let's see how I did that. I'm going to go ahead and enter into looper mode on the unit, and you'll see that we get a dedicated screen of looper functions. There are 8 foot switches, so 8 different looper functions. Cool there. I'm going to go ahead and record an empty loop for a couple seconds. So I hit the record button. Just let it go. That looks pretty good. And hit record button again. And now I'm in overdub mode. So if you're more song-based, imagine you played a verse or maybe a chorus that you want to loop. So you obviously would record a longer piece. But let me go ahead and create the drone that I'm looking to capture here. Here we go. There we go. Nice. All right, so that's my drone. And now that it's just running, I've put it in play. I can go ahead and solo over it. Yeah. Really nice, super simple to do, and it's all in one. So is this thing a Kemper killer? Is it a Helix destroyer? I think it's an interesting question. It's a great unit. It's got a lot of great features. Generally it sounds really good, especially when I compare it to the GE200. I think some areas that Mooer has really stepped up are in the reverb tones. They're much nicer than the GE200. I think the reverbs even sound better than the Mooer Ocean machine, if you recall that pedal from a couple years ago. And the amp models and the cab sims are all very usable. You can get a lot of different sounds. I didn't mention the EQ capabilities or high and low cut filters on the speaker cabs, and even being able to assign microphones, different types of mics to the cabs. It's pretty flexible. Whether or not it kills or really challenges some of the other effects units, I think is gonna be kind of where it falls in the market price-wise. I have not yet seen a solid price in the US on the unit, but I don't think it's going to be super cheap, right? So it'll be an interesting thing. What you'll need to do if you're interested is really compare features and capabilities within the price ranges. So, for example, I think comparing this to a $2,000 Kemper rig is probably not a fair comparison. I don't have a Kemper, so I can't compare it, but maybe it holds up, maybe it doesn't, I don't know. But wherever this guy lands price-wise, I think that's where you want to do your comparisons. All right, I've got some links here for you. I've got a playlist of other amp modeling reviews that I have done, and I've also got a link to that performance video of the GE300. Thanks so much. Subscribe. See y'all on the next video.